The New England Patriots are staring down one of the most important drafts in recent memory, and all eyes are locked on that fourth overall pick. The big question? Who are they going to take? Could a top-tier quarterback actually fall into their lap? Is there a possibility that a blue-chip prospect drops to their range? And yeah, there's already been some buzz, concerns over arm length for a certain player, making a few scouts and fans uneasy. But beyond the big names at the top, there's also something just as crucial, finding those hidden gems in the later rounds. Because let's be honest, building a competitive roster isn't just about the first-rounders. It's about hitting on those third, fourth, even seventh-round picks that end up becoming core pieces. What makes this draft even more intriguing is how connected the fan base has been leading up to it. Recently, the Patriots community took part in an interactive mock draft. Multiple players were put up for debate, and fans got the chance to vote on who they wanted for each pick through social media. And some might roll their eyes at that, but honestly, this kind of engagement matters. It reflects the passion of the fan base, sure, but also opens the door to conversations about lesser-known prospects who could realistically become strong contributors, especially as late-round values. Now, when we zoom in on that fourth pick, the evaluation gets razor-sharp. There's one player who, if he's still available at 4, is the obvious choice. No hesitation. He checks every box. But then you've got the rumors flying around about another potential target, someone who might not even make it to the 4th spot, realistically speaking. There was a window earlier this offseason where it looked like he could slip, but as of now, it's hard to imagine him dropping that far. Still, if the first guy's gone and the second one somehow makes it past the top 3, then yeah, that becomes a very real scenario. From there, we start shifting our attention to the next picks, and this is where things start to open up a bit more. There's an offensive tackle from a powerhouse program that's been getting a ton of internal buzz. Word is, the coaching staff has confidence in this year's group of tackles, believing this class has multiple guys who can start as left tackles in the NFL. The most realistic projection? If they land the top QB at number 4, they follow it up with an OT to protect him. But if things go a different direction, there's still the possibility of moving up or down the board to grab the lineman they really want. Maybe even the one some believe will be the best offensive tackle in this entire draft, if not for a knee injury that causes stock to dip slightly. Then we start talking depth. Fast forward around 3, pick 69, and here's where it gets fun. There's a lineman on the board who, believe it or not, wears number 69 and just happens to be the pick at 69. His tape? Nasty. Pure power. Dominant in pass protection, especially for a guy playing guard. The staff has made it clear. The goal is to find starters, not just depth guys. And when you look across the current lineup, the offensive line is screaming for help. Left tackle, obviously, is a major hole. But you also need to be thinking about kicker, edge rusher, maybe even another guard on the right side to reinforce that interior line. The guy they're looking at played at a high level for a top-tier school, and physically, he's a beast, 6'3", 345 pounds, and all business. A team captain, a leader, the kind of player that helps reset a culture and gives your young quarterback a chance to grow. He's also considered one of the best in the entire country when it comes to protecting the passer. That's the kind of trait that should shoot you up draft boards. Because think about it, if you pair that kind of player with another strong lineman on the left side, suddenly you're giving your offense real protection. And for a team like the Patriots, with a young quarterback possibly stepping into a full-time starting role, giving him time in the pocket is mission critical. You can't build a reliable passing attack or establish a run game without solid line play. That's just a fact. And even though this guard might be a third-rounder, he has all the tools to be a day-one starter, a 3-year anchor on that interior. So yeah, huge potential upgrade on the left side. And all of this centers around that one goal. Keep your quarterback upright, let him make throws, and build a run game that doesn't sputter on first contact. If this lineman ends up being the pick, expect an instant injection of grit and professionalism. The guy's not flashy, but he gets the job done, and that's exactly what the Patriots need. He's a no-nonsense leader, a tone setter, and he comes from a school that knows how to produce NFL-ready offensive linemen. Actually, that school will likely have multiple guys taken this year, and they're not the only program loading up the board. There's another powerhouse churning out a strong class. and it wouldn't be surprising to see the Patriots dip into that talent pool more than once. Now, circling back to earlier mock drafts, some had multiple linemen taken early, and one name that keeps popping up is Ratledge. He's projected to be the second pick in that third round, a pick the Patriots acquired via trade. That could be a huge steal. But how do fans really feel about that possibility? Is there excitement, or is the preference leaning towards someone else? There's always the debate about arm length, about whether a guy should be a guard or a tackle. But remember, Ratledge played left tackle for 3 seasons at a high level. That kind of experience matters. And while there are scouts who project him inside because of his arm length, others believe he's got enough footwork and toughness to make it work on the outside too. That kind of versatility is golden in today's NFL. So what do we make of this? Is it a pick fans would get behind? Or is there pushback? Jump down to the comments and let's hear it. But it doesn't stop there. There's also another intriguing name to consider at this spot. A wide receiver who started his college career elsewhere, but made a name for himself over 3 seasons with the Cougars. This guy has serious juice. The reason he might fall in around 3? His route tree needs serious work. He's got elite vertical speed, but the technical polish just isn't there yet. That said, his big play ability is real. He can stretch the field like few others, and every team in the league wants a player like that. Someone who can flip the field in one snap. Dig into the numbers, and they pop off the page. 70 catches, nearly 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns. An average of 17 yards per grab, with long receptions of over 60 yards in back-to-back seasons. He ran a timed 40-yard dash at around 4.4 seconds. Some say even faster in unofficial testing. You don't find many receivers with that level of production and that kind of speed still available in the third round. Did the Patriots bring him in for a top 30 visit? Apparently not, but that doesn't rule anything out. Sometimes teams play it close to the vest, and you can still end up calling a guy's name on day 2 without ever bringing him in for an official meeting. It's all part of the game. Now, is he the perfect fit? That's debatable. If the team's high on someone like Pop Douglas, who's more of a quick, underneath route specialist, then maybe they pass on a vertical threat like this. But others would argue that Douglas and this guy complement each other. One works the short and intermediate stuff, the other takes the top off the defense. And when you've a young quarterback, you want to surround him with as many different tools as possible. We're going to keep breaking this all down because the possibilities are wide open. There's a lot more to get into, from potential steals to sleeper picks, so stick around. Now, shifting the focus just a bit, let's talk about another wide receiver prospect that's been creating some conversation, Kyle Williams. There's already chatter online debating whether or not he should be the guy the Patriots target in the third round. Some fans are all in. Others? Not so much. A few are leaning toward receivers out of programs like Iowa State or Utah State instead. And honestly, that makes sense. This wide receiver class doesn't quite have the same depth as previous years, but that doesn't mean there aren't hidden gems who could be developed into reliable starters. And Williams might just be one of those guys. He brings something that the Patriots offense has been missing for a while: true vertical explosiveness. Pop Douglas, for example, has his strengths: quick, sharp, thrives in the short game with mesh routes, underneath patterns, bubble screens, you name it. But Kyle Williams gives you something different. He stretches the field, he forces safeties to think twice, and he opens up space for other receivers to work underneath. That kind of role can totally change how a quarterback reads a defense. If the team wants to make a real jump offensively, adding that type of threat is a smart move. Let's not forget his production either. 70 receptions, nearly 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns in one season, averaging 17 yards per catch. Those are not inflated stats. They show a player who knows how to win downfield and make big plays. And when you're building around a young quarterback, giving him a target who can take the top off a defense is invaluable. There's also that possibility, small but real, that he could develop into more than just a vertical specialist. With the right coaching, maybe even grow into a more complete route runner. But beyond Kyle, there's more on the radar. A lot of fans are eyeing Will Campbell, and it wouldn't be a surprise to see him called early. But the real dark horse? Kenneth Grant. This guy has the makings of a first-round pick, and if by some miracle he's still on the board at 38, the Patriots would be foolish not to take him. He's big, disruptive, and incredibly athletic for a man his size. Some mocks have him landing in Detroit, but if he somehow slides, that's a golden opportunity. Kenneth Grant is exactly the kind of player who could step in right away and give this defense a new level of power up front. He's versatile enough to rotate in different packages, but good enough to start on day one. If the Patriots are serious about getting tougher in the trenches, he has to be a real option. Then there's the debate around that third rounder again, pick 69. We already talked about Ratledge, but don't overlook the guard out of West Virginia. Now, personal preference leans toward Ratledge because of his experience and consistency, but the other guy shouldn't be written off. He's got the size, strength, and toughness to develop into a starting caliber lineman. The team just has to decide which one fits their scheme better. And when it comes to wide receivers again, there's another name to keep an eye on, Higgins. He's been getting compared to McMillan from Arizona. Not quite the same level of explosiveness or polish in route running, but physically, they're almost identical. Same size, similar hands. The only real knock on Higgins is that he doesn't separate quite as well as McMillan. Still, he's the type of player that could surprise people if he lands in the right system. So let's say the Patriots do end up going with someone like Kyle Williams. Is that the best use of that third-round pick? Or would it make more sense to grab a higher-floor receiver with less upside but more reliability right now? That's the dilemma. Drafting is all about balance between risk and reward, between ceiling and floor. And this team is in a position where both things matter. Now, jumping forward, let's take a quick look at some names that could pop later in the draft. Ashton Gillette, an edge rusher out of Louisville, could be a really solid pickup in the fourth round. He's raw but explosive. Then there's Trevor Etienne, the running back, younger brother of Travis, who could definitely fit what the Patriots are trying to do in the backfield. His skill set isn't flashy, but he's a north-south runner with great balance and vision. If the Patriots are looking to complement their current backfield, Etienne makes a lot of sense. Another interesting one is linebacker Danny Stutzman out of Oklahoma. You know that guy is serious when he shows up with the cowboy collar. Classic sign of a no-nonsense, throwback linebacker. He's got the motor, the instincts, and the physicality you want in a mid-round pick. Then there's a bit of curiosity at tight end. The Patriots drafted Gene Bell last year, and there's some speculation about whether the offense is shifting direction schematically. If so, maybe they look to double-dip at that position. And finally, a potential late-round special teams gem, kicker Andres Borgales. Might have butchered the pronunciation, but you get the point. He's one of the top kickers in this class and could easily become a long-term answer if selected. So whether it's Williams, Ratledge, Borgales, or someone else entirely, this draft could be a real turning point. And the Patriots have the capital to make it count. What would you do with the picks? Do you go safe and solid, or swing big for upside? Drop your thoughts below. This one's going to be fun to watch. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Rumors are swirling around the NFL, and this one could send shockwaves through the league. What if the New England Patriots, always known for their cunning moves and strategic acquisitions, made a play for one of the NFL's brightest stars? Imagine the scene. Patrick Surtain, too, the Denver Broncos' standout cornerback, leaving the mile-high city for the New England Patriots. This is the kind of move that could change the course of the 2024 season, and maybe even beyond. But is it a real possibility, or just another off-season fantasy? For those who've been following Surtain's rise through the NFL ranks, the 24-year-old has been nothing short of sensational. A former Alabama Crimson Tide standout, Surtain was drafted by the Broncos in 2021 and quickly cemented himself as one of the best cornerbacks in the league. With Pro Bowl honors and a Defensive Player of the Year award already under his belt, it's clear that Surtain's talent is undeniable. And now, with a new 4-year, $96 million contract extension that secures him as the highest-paid defensive back in NFL history, his future is set to be one of the league's biggest storylines. So why would the Broncos consider parting ways with their star defender? While Surtain's numbers are impressive, the NFL is a business, and sometimes even the brightest stars are traded for the right deal. With new head coach Sean Payton at the helm and a revamped roster, the Broncos may be looking to make some changes, perhaps to further bolster their offense or secure a long-term asset for the future. Could the Patriots, with their history of taking advantage of opportunities like this, make an offer Denver can't refuse? The Patriots, on the other hand, have been in search of a shutdown corner for years. Despite a steady defense, they have struggled to find a cornerback who can truly dominate and neutralize the league's best receivers. Surtain would instantly upgrade their secondary, adding an elite talent capable of locking down top receivers and drastically improving their pass defense. With Bill Belichick's defensive genius paired with certain skills, this could be the perfect marriage of coaching and talent. As with all NFL rumors, there are a lot of moving parts. It would take more than just an enticing offer for the Patriots to secure Surtain. The Broncos would have to be willing to part with their star, and the Patriots would need to get creative with their cap space. But one thing is for certain. If this trade were to happen, it would shift the balance of power in the AFC and give New England a defensive force to be reckoned with. Will the Patriots make the move? Only time will tell, but the rumor alone is enough to get fans dreaming of what could be. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.